This tutorial looks at text specs, measurements, callouts, and just ways of making your page look more interesting when you've finished your working drawings. The tutorial is broken into sections, so we will start with the jacket and callouts, then look at the working drawings and measurements, and then the colourways, so you can replicate all sections of the technical drawings. You will need to open the Illustrator document textspecspractice.ai, and that gives you the two jacket bases, so the front flat and the detailed jacket. I'm going to start with the text and the arrows from the callouts. So first I'm going to lock the jacket layer because it's very easy to pick it up and pull it around as you're moving, and create a new layer to work on. The new layer above the jacket. Text is added using the type tool in the toolbar, so if you select the type tool, click on the workspace, and then you can type in here. If I select that now, I can resize it or change the font. And I can use the selection tool, the black arrow, to drag that around to where I want it to go. And I can also resize it using the black arrow as well. Arrows can be made by using the line segment tool or the pen tool. I just choose the line segment. I can click and drag to draw a line. I turn the stroke on. I can look in the brush definitions and open the library, and in here there are some arrows already made, so special, pattern and standard. I'm going to choose a standard arrow. And in here there are lots of different arrows that you can choose. I'm just going to choose that one for now. And I can drag my arrow into place. I can change the colour if I want to, and I could resize the stroke as well. Callouts are made with a clipping mask, so if I make a new layer to work on and choose the ellipse tool, and then just put a circle around the area that I want to turn into a callout. Hold down Shift to make it proportional. I then need to select the object that I want to make the mask out of, as well as the clipping mask arrow, so I can just select there. So I will need to unlock the jacket and select, go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make, That's made my clipping mask, and I need to copy that, so Command C to copy, Command V to paste. Then I need to come back to the original area of the clipping mask, go to Object, Clipping Mask, and release it to bring everything else back. So I'll demonstrate that again in a moment. And then I can just drag the call out to wherever I want it to be. I can resize it. If I want to make any changes to the decorations in the detail in there, I can do that as well. It's worth noting that the clipping mask doesn't actually get rid of the rest of the jacket, so you can see that when it's moved over there, you can see the rest of the outlines of the jacket are still there. There are ways to erase that, but it gets a bit complicated, so for now we'll just leave it as it is with the jacket hidden. To show the line around the circle, you need to locate the ellipse in the Layers menu and select it. Just make sure you've got the right ellipse, so you can use the markers in the Layers panel there to make sure you've got the right one selected. Go to Properties and add the stroke, and you can scale that up and down as well. So I'll just go through callouts again. Make a new layer to make the callout on. Select the ellipse tool or the rectangle or whatever shape that you want to make it. Choose the piece that you want to select. I'm going to choose that bit this time. Take the black arrow and select the object that you want to clip. Go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make. Copy and paste that, so Command C to copy, Command V to paste. Drag the new one out to the side. Select the original one, go back to Object, Clipping Mask, and release it to bring everything back. Delete the ellipse by finding it in the Layers panel. And select and resize the clipping mask in here. And if you want to make the stroke bigger, where are my layers? Window. It's gone. And adjust the stroke for the clip group there by finding the ellipse. Going to Properties. You may find that your strokes have gone very pale effectively because they've been stretched and enlarged there. If that's the case, locate the path in the Layers palette using markers and just adjust it in Properties. Next I'm going to look at the front flat and how to add measurement lines and text. Create a new layer to work on. To get a proportional set of measurement lines, I'm going to choose the rectangle tool and just draw out my initial rectangle. I'm going to set the fill to none and choose a stroke colour. Next I'm going to choose the white arrow, direct selection tool, and select one of the anchor points. if I choose the scissors icon here, cut path at selected anchor points, it will cut that for me. I'm going to do that to both. And now I can locate the middle of the path and delete. That just gives me a three-sided rectangle. I go back to the selection tool, the black arrow, I can move that around now. And just drag it into place. I can extend the length of the lines by choosing the white arrow. I'm just dragging, and if I hold shift it will keep it in a straight line. I can scale the stroke up and down as normal. Add in any notes I want to make. And then make a call out rectangle at the bottom. And then make a call out rectangle to add the details in. I may want to make more of these that line up, so I can select it, copy and paste, Command C, Command V. Grab the new one. And just scale it. If I turn on rulers here and guides here as well, and unlock the guides, I can just grab one from the side here, line it up, and then use that guide just to level everything off. I can turn the guides off again using this button here. So to make the colourways, I'm going to make a new layer and then draw a rectangle. Hold shift if you want it to be proportional. I'm just going to Option Shift, Option click drag to make the palettes. Select all four of them and find the Align menu, which will be in the Properties or up here on the top bar. It's going to align everything to the top there. You need to make sure that you're aligned to selection and then align everything to the top. And then distribute them as well. And next I'm going to fill my palettes with the colours that I've chosen. So there are lots of options here where I can double click and choose a colour visually. I can click on one of the palettes to put my own code in if I've already got a code for my colour. And I just need to make sure those colours are saved as palette colours. So I can do that by choosing New Swatch and going to OK. Next I'm going to rescale my jacket so that I can fit 4 on the screen. I'm just going to select the object copy and paste or option drag to bring one out. I can scale this in the usual way by holding down Shift and dragging in and out. You may find that yours has done when you scale yours in that it looks like this, so it hasn't scaled the zip well or the top stitching or any of the inside paths, and you can sort that by going to, just step back on, you can sort that by going to Object, Transform, Scale in the menu bar, and then just making sure you've turned on Scale Strokes and Effects. And that should scale down nicely. So to colour, some shapes you'll be able to colour very easily by just selecting the fill colour. However, if you select all the objects, you'll notice again you lose some of the lines and definition in the jacket. So the best way to get around that is to locate. I'm going to colour this by locating the objects in the layers palette and recolouring them. If I try to colour the whole thing at the same time, I lose some of the definition in the stitching and around at the top there, just where things overlap and it's coloured every single thing. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to go in individually and colour the parts individually. So I've selected the body outline there, and go in and choose a colour. Back to my layers palette, choose the sleeves. I just want the sleeve path, I don't want any of the ribbing or the top stitching. And then with the collar, I need to make sure I've selected the shapes rather than the detail layers. So I can do more than one. So I'm going to choose the bottom right shape there, top right shape. Top right shape. Top right shape. Left shape. Come back. And copy and paste that one over now. And I've got various options here, so I could individually colour parts if I wanted to, or I could recolour the whole piece of artwork. So if I choose this button here, or I could recolour the whole artwork, so this button here will give me the recolouring menu, and here I can see my current colour is this blue, and I can just double click to choose a new colour here, and that will recolour all the artwork without having to change anything. And I can do the same thing if I just want to change parts of the artwork. So for example, if I just want the collar, I can locate the relevant shapes in the layers palette. And change the colour, just the colour. And I could also do that in the recolour menu, so that now gives me the choice of the different colours. So I could reverse them there. And I'm just going to select the top two and align them. Select the bottom two and align them so everything's straight. And then finally draw a rectangle around the whole thing just to put it together and present it nicely, or you could add your own detailing or text or whatever, just to make it a sort of cohesive branded look, and so all your pages tie together in the same way.